Have you ever woken up with a strange sensation deep in your body, one you couldn't quite explain, and found yourself wondering if it might be a ticking time bomb for your health? It's unsettling to think that at any moment something could be quietly brewing inside you, waiting to erupt. Sometimes our bodies send out urgent messages that we brush off as just getting older or having an off day. But here's a sobering truth. Ignoring certain warning signs can lead to devastating consequences. Consider this your wake-up call. If you've been feeling unrelenting fatigue, sudden bursts of chest pressure, or mysterious, unexplainable weight changes, these could be your body's flares in the night sky, urgent signals that need your immediate attention. The goal here isn't to scare you, but to illuminate the red flags that doctors and health experts constantly urge us to recognize. By the end of this script, you'll be equipped with knowledge that could very well save your life or the life of someone you love. Each section introduces a critical sign. Some might seem obvious at first, others might surprise you. Every sign carries its own hidden dangers, and the scariest part is how quickly these hidden troubles can escalate. You'll also discover transitions, small previews about why the next sign is even more alarming or just as crucial to address. Pay close attention, because the quiet signals you shrug off today could become a full-blown emergency tomorrow. Feeling a bit tired after staying up too late is normal, but the exhaustion we're talking about is different. It's the kind that clings to you even after a full night's sleep, a lazy weekend, or a mini vacation. This heaviness makes simple chores feel like you're dragging around heavy chains. Picture getting winded just by walking to the mailbox, or feeling your muscles ache from cooking a quick meal. If you start avoiding everyday activities you used to enjoy because you simply don't have the energy, that's a glaring sign something's off. Doctors often see unrelenting exhaustion in people whose organs are struggling to keep up. Think heart failure, advanced kidney disease, or severe hormonal imbalances. When the body's systems begin to falter, they siphon energy away from everything else, leaving you in a fog of constant weariness. It's a warning light on the dashboard, and driving on without checking it could lead to irreversible damage. So how do you respond if this sounds like you or someone close to you? Take a step back and honestly assess how long you've been feeling this way. If it's more than a few days or weeks, and if it keeps intensifying, don't shrug it off. Seek professional advice. The earlier you address extreme fatigue, the easier it is to discover whether it's a fixable problem like a vitamin deficiency or a life-threatening condition needing immediate treatment. But that's not the only silent alarm. Sometimes your body's distress appears less like tiredness and more like a crushing weight from within. Nothing quite grabs your attention like a sudden vice grip sensation deep in your chest. Maybe it radiates to your arm or creeps up your jaw. You might break out in a sweat, your heart pounding like a drum in your ears. The natural impulse is to think it's probably just stress or it's just indigestion. Yet doctors will tell you that a crushing, persistent pressure can be the final warning before a heart attack strikes. This type of pressure isn't always the dramatic chest-clutching scene you might picture from films. Some people feel a slow, creeping discomfort that becomes sharper over minutes or even hours. Others experience a sensation they describe as a heavy weight pinning them down, making it tough to breathe. Any delay in getting help could turn a treatable crisis into a tragedy. Worse yet, if the aorta, the main artery carrying blood from the heart, begins to tear, the pain may feel so unique, like a ripping or searing inside your chest, that many people don't connect it to a possible aortic dissection until it's too late. If this ordeal hits you or someone near you, call for emergency assistance immediately. Don't wait to see if it eases on its own. Don't lie down hoping the ache will vanish. Quick action often spells the difference between full recovery and irreparable harm. And if you think chest pressure is bad, imagine facing that same sense of panic every time you try to inhale. Breathing is a universal sign of life, something so automatic we rarely think about it. Until that is, you can't do it. Picture feeling short of breath while you're simply sitting still or relaxing. Suddenly, it's as though the air around you is thinned out, and no matter how deeply you inhale, your body insists it's not enough. The terror that follows can be overwhelming. Doctors know that unexplained shortness of breath is more than just a nuisance. It can signal heart failure, where fluid accumulates in the lungs because the heart can't pump efficiently. It can warn of a blood clot traveling to the lungs, also known as a pulmonary embolism, an event that can be fatal if not addressed right away. In some cases, shortness of breath might even accompany a silent heart attack, showing up with few or none of the typical chest symptoms. If this scenario happens to you, think fast, sit down, remain as calm as possible, and seek medical help immediately. Some people chalk it up to anxiety, aging, or lack of exercise, and they never see a doctor about it. That's a grave mistake. When breathing becomes a struggle, time is never on your side. So you might be thinking, I'm not short of breath and I don't have chest pain, so I'm fine. Not so fast. Your body could be revealing a different kind of distress altogether. Weight fluctuations happen. You eat a bit more during the holidays. Maybe you cut back the following month. But there's a world of difference between gradual, intentional changes and alarming weight loss that seems to appear out of nowhere. Imagine stepping on the scale one morning and seeing you've dropped a significant amount of weight, even though you haven't started a new workout or diet plan. To devour fat and muscle, you might actually feel weaker or more fatigued, which only adds to the puzzle. Other possibilities include unchecked diabetes, advanced thyroid problems, or persistent infections that hijack your immune system and burn through calories like a raging furnace. If your clothes hang loosely all of a sudden and you have no clue why, don't celebrate just yet. Keep an eye on other symptoms. Are you feeling queasy often? Have you noticed ongoing digestive issues or fevers? Document every shift and contact a healthcare professional. Early investigation can make the difference between catching a major condition when it's still treatable and getting blindsided down the road. Of course, weight change isn't the only subtle symptom that can creep up. Sometimes the first clue that something is dreadfully wrong is when you don't recognize your own thoughts or behavior. Ever had a moment where you forgot what you were saying mid-sentence? That's normal in small doses. But if you or someone in your orbit starts experiencing bouts of confusion or abrupt personality changes, that's a more urgent red flag. One day they're perfectly coherent, and the next they can't remember a close friend's name or an important appointment. Or perhaps they start showing paranoia, agitation, or aggression they've never shown before. Doctors often link these rapid mental or behavioral shifts to problems like strokes or silent infections in the brain. A stroke doesn't always manifest as half the body drooping or an inability to speak. Sometimes the clue is a personality 180 that happens almost overnight. In older adults, a lurking infection, like a urinary tract infection that's gone undetected, can spiral into delirium, leaving them disoriented and confused about their surroundings. Another possible culprit is rapid onset dementia or other neurological conditions that can escalate swiftly, erasing short-term memory and basic life skills. While some forms of cognitive decline are gradual, there are scenarios where the descent happens alarmingly fast. In these situations, every day counts. If you notice someone's mental clarity plunging out of nowhere, it's time for immediate medical evaluation. Waiting can worsen the underlying condition and shrink your window for effective intervention. But the brain isn't the only place where hidden trouble can strike hard. Sometimes the warning is located a little deeper in the torso, revealing itself as unrelenting discomfort that refuses to fade. At first, a dull ache in your gut might make you think you ate something that didn't agree with you. But if the pain intensifies or morphs into a stabbing, unyielding sensation, your body could be waving a red flag you can't afford to ignore. Severe abdominal pain that hits you like a freight train or lingers without improvement might be hinting at a burst abdominal aortic aneurysm, a situation where a weakened section of the aorta gives way, leading to massive internal bleeding. When that happens, minutes can mean the difference between life and catastrophic collapse. Yet that's not the only serious cause. Intestinal blockages can create severe, unrelenting pain that sometimes comes in waves. Pancreatitis can unleash searing discomfort in the upper abdomen, often radiating to the back, making you feel like no position offers relief. Gallbladder inflammation can trigger waves of pain that flare up right under your ribs, especially after fatty meals. Infections or other intestinal emergencies may also create a hard, swollen abdomen that's tender to the touch, signaling a serious lack of blood flow or a buildup of dangerous toxins. If you ever find yourself huddled on the couch in excruciating pain, fighting nausea, or even faintness, seek help right away. Popping painkillers or lying in bed might mask the symptoms, allowing the underlying problem to worsen. The digestive system has countless potential failure points. When one malfunctions, it can quickly spiral into a life-threatening emergency if you don't take action. But what if the warning sign isn't about pain at all? Sometimes your body sends out silent signals in the form of noticeable swelling or lumps that appear out of the blue. Picture looking down at your leg and realizing it's puffed up twice its normal size without any obvious reason. Or noticing a mysterious lump forming on your neck or in your armpit. It doesn't hurt much, so you decide you'll wait and see if it goes away. That wait-and-see approach, however, can be risky. Sudden swelling in an arm or leg could be a clue that a blood clot is lurking, obstructing circulation. If that clot dislodges and travels to the lungs, it can trigger a lethal pulmonary embolism. When lumps or masses appear in places where they don't belong, it might be your body's way of telling you an infection is raging, or even that a tumor, benign or malignant, has started to take root. Some people discover lumps in their breast, groin, or even behind the ear, and they delay getting it checked because there's no immediate pain. But silence isn't safety. Many serious conditions, including certain cancers, hide behind painless growths until they're too advanced to ignore. If you ever notice swelling or lumps that stick around or keep growing, reach out for a medical opinion promptly. It could be something harmless like a cyst, but it could also be a malignant growth that needs immediate intervention. In health matters, clarity is power. And if you think lumps or swelling are the only covert threats, remember that some conditions hide behind a lingering fever or infection that doesn't seem to let up. Normally, fevers come and go with seasonal illnesses, hinting that your immune system is waging war against an invader. But what happens when a fever overstays its welcome? Or when you keep battling infections that refuse to heal, no matter how many home remedies you try? Prolonged, unexplained fevers can point to deeper problems like autoimmune disorders, hidden bacterial infections, or even certain cancers. Picture someone who's been running a slight fever for weeks, but feels mostly okay. They might think it's a stubborn flu or a mild cold. Yet doctors will tell you that persistent or recurrent fevers often indicate your body is locked in a long-term battle. It could be tuberculosis, a less common infection, or something systemic affecting the kidneys, liver, or even the bloodstream. If your temperature frequently spikes without a clear trigger, or you're battling the same infection over and over, it's time to stop dismissing it. Seeking professional help allows tests to uncover whether you have a lurking immune issue, a hidden abscess, or an underlying organ dysfunction. Early intervention can stop a mild condition from escalating, but ignoring it gives the problem time to entrench itself. By the time you face the full brunt of the damage, it could be much harder, if not impossible, to reverse. So now you've seen multiple signs, each a flashing alert in its own right. But what's the bigger lesson behind these warnings? And how can you keep from getting blindsided? Your body is an incredible machine capable of enduring immense stress, healing injuries, and adapting to changing conditions. Yet, even the strongest system has its limits. Whenever something begins to break down, from blood flow issues and infections to failing organs, it doesn't always send the same obvious signals. Instead, these warnings can show up as sudden exhaustion, unusual weight loss, persistent pain, shortness of breath, drastic mental shifts, strange lumps, or never-ending fevers. The common thread is that none of these signs should ever be brushed off as just part of life. By now, you've gained insight into 8 distinct red flags that might mean your body is reaching a critical point. Each one tells a story of hidden danger. Each one underscores the reality that time is precious, even if you feel tempted to wave away these signals, believing they might fade on their own. Be aware that hesitation can cost you more than just a few days of discomfort. In many cases, it can cost you your chance to catch a serious condition early. The good news is that awareness grants power. When you recognize these warning signs for what they are, you can take swift, decisive action. That might mean scheduling an urgent doctor's visit, heading straight to the emergency room, or even calling in a specialist for deeper testing. While the experience may be scary, knowledge forms the best defense. And remember, it's always better to get checked out and discover it's nothing than to wait until it's too late. Your health health is a treasure that deserves your utmost attention. Stay vigilant, know your body's normal rhythms, and don't ignore anything that feels off. The next time you sense a distress signal, be it a punishing fatigue that doesn't let up or a lingering fever that won't break, listen carefully. Your body rarely lies about what it needs. By giving these signals the urgency they demand, you position yourself to address underlying problems before they spiral into a life-changing crisis. Thank you for joining in this exploration of vital health warnings. If you found this information helpful, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. You never know when a single conversation could be the catalyst for another person to take a life-saving step. In the end, staying informed and proactive could be the difference between a momentary scare and a future filled with vitality.